Greetings, I'm joining us. Okay. This is Saturday night. I think so, something like that. Or Sunday morning, whatever you want to call it. Going to the Greys, the Zeta. Those have been abducted by Greys. I haven't gone through anything recently. But some have been abducted, like being like on a bed and being probed or programmed or whatever it might be. It's not always a good thing, though. You'd be surprised that those who have indoctrinated themselves to be programmed here. So they get, they might go through levitation, like they're levitating from their bed, and there's some Zeta energy with that too for some people. And then they take you to their ship and they put you on the bed and start probing you and programming you. And now all of a sudden they have a podcast and all that stuff here. And doesn't mean they always have the best intentions. They might think they have the best intentions. But there's somebody controlling that person. So it's not always sometimes having an alien experience isn't always the best, because that kind of shows them, the aliens doing their, their behind the scenes manipulation here. So, like I said, sometimes it's a red flag. You see the agendas are going on, like they're obsessed with certain subject matter that don't really matter. At least in some of the podcasts that are out there, spiritual podcasts. And it's just the numbers are going to get more increasing, and you'll hear more alien abductions. Oh, it's a good thing, and then they come here, and the people that went through the abduction are now manipulating people and things like that. Of course, everyone likes them, especially when they dress up like Jesus, look like they're nice and cool and everything, easy to approach, and it's religion all over again. So the aliens are, obviously, there's good ones. Obviously, there's a lot of bad ones, and that's how the bad ones operate here. So, if you wake up on a table and see a bunch of Zetas and resist, that's a good thing. Because, if you have an alien visitation, they shouldn't be putting you on a bed at all. That would probably be a good sign. But if you're laying on a bed, they're probing you and all that, that's not a good thing. I mean, if you're resisting, it doesn't mean that everybody goes through that's pre-programmed. No. They might just doing tests on you or whatever, trying to figure out who you are or whatever it is. But there are some cases where they're actually programming. It's like indoctrination. I'm not going to go into all the details I can go into. That would make it just a little bit. I'm being kind of cryptic also about it, because I have to. It's too bad, though. But having an alien experience is what it's cracked up to be. So, implants, meaning like just the program, basically to get certain individuals that agree upon it, or they've always been here to program society and look like they're nice and friendly people and welcoming and here to manipulate the hell out of you. So, and let you enjoy it. So, it's messed up. One of these days, I guess I'll go into more details of it, but I just have to be kind of vague about it. And Quantum Leap, there's basically another time traveling energy. Well, Quantum Leap, the show, was about a time traveler going to someone's body and do a good deed, kind of like an angel, touched by an angel, something like that. Yeah, it's kind of a weird concept when you think about it, but it was a cool show, though. So, but I imagine there's truth. Oh, cat. Jeez. It's like my foot is her buffet. That wasn't just one bite. That was like 5. And she was asleep. It's funny. She was sleeping. I didn't know where any of them were. I go live. They all show up. Start biting my feet. Come here. So anyway, um, and then Exopolitics weekend review. So I saw that on a channel. I'm not gonna name where. I couldn't stop laughing. It's like this is like, I guess because there's nothing on television, so now the Exopolitics. It's just I don't know. Spiritual stuff's coming. It's almost like a parody of itself. But people take it. You can pull whatever you want, and others will just buy into it. It's like whatever. It's like, is any of this going to affect your life? Probably not. Any of this exopolitics, is it going to do anything for anyone's life? No. I'll give you something to think about, and that's about it. It's like turning into a comedy. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that title. It's like, that's just this, whatever. Like turning into a cartoon. And some take this really serious and all of that, but is it going to help you become a better person? Hopefully. If it does that, then all the exopolitics can get in your life. But for others, it's entertainment for a boring life. There's definitely nothing on television. Holy crap. So they're remaking old TV shows like Matlock. Oh my gosh. I want to go through that's where Quantum Leap came from. They're remaking all this stuff. They can't come up with anything original or call it something different. I think they're just entertainment, just showing how retarded they are. I'm not sure if the entertainment industry has a pulse, or I'm not sure if it's alive anymore. So I'll go into some of that. So, but yeah, some of this alien stuff a lot of this is entertainment, especially the exopolitics stuff. There's like no way to prove any of it. They just tell you all this stuff, and you're like in this elite group that you have all this knowledge, but you can't prove. So, and some just live in La La Land. It's just the way it is. You expect the aliens to show up, and a lot of these aliens are bad aliens. You can see that some of these spiritual teachers, some of those are the bad guys, and people aren't picking that up. If you can't pick up a spiritual teacher that is a bad guy, how are you going to pick up when aliens show up? Technically, they're here already manipulating the hell out of our reality, but just to test us to see where we're at. I mean, we're vulnerable. We're easy to mess with. So why not, right? They're here to test us, and eventually they get kicked out, and then other ones come in to screw around with us. So it's when people accept this stuff, it's like you're opening up, the window for the vampire to come in. And so there's not much they can do when people accept this stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going to come out of that exopolitics stuff. It feels like it's a cash grab. It's just it's like the alien religion. It's just now it's on a week in review of manipulation. It's just, I mean, if there's ears out there that will take it, sure, and some are disconnected, their minds are just turned off and they'll just take anything. Just give us something else, because obviously entertainment, there's nothing out there. There might be some stuff here and there, probably, but when they're recycling old stuff, it's like the pulse of this planet doesn't exist anymore. It's something else. I guess this world has to be mediocre, but geez, does it have to make a living out of being mediocre? So I'm talking comment private sessions. I have a scheduler. We have a shop here. We have the webinar, social network behind the scenes, an archive, and then to go into some of the mediocrity of our lovely reality here. See if I did this right. Yeah. So you got so they're remaking Matlock. So Matlock's this old guy. Now they got this. Now they got the new lady here. They have the old guy, old Matlock for old people, and now they got they can't come up with anything over it. It's like creativity is just dead here. It's tragic. It's like this world has no soul. It's just we're just showing the world how mediocre we are at this point. You got Hawaii Five O. That was an old classic show. I don't ever watched it, but and now it's whatever that is. Hollowed energy, and this has been off for like 10 years. Lucky us. Sounds like a whatever. Magnum PI. A lot of life to that. A lot of energy. Cheesy as hell. And now you have like lifeless crap. So whatever. And then you have Quantum Leap, classic weirdness. It was definitely a weird show. But it had a lot of heart to it too. And then you have like a soulless reproduction. And the other thing was at Night Court. Another let's see, yeah, classic. It's just probably the best stuff on television. And then they remade it to soulless reproduction. So God, just feels like there's nothing there. It's hilarious. Great time to be alive. You might as well just enjoy your exopolitics and your secret space programs or whatever, because there's not much this reality. Yeah, reality is just I don't know, man. I mean, we're in an era of, I mean, this world goes up and down, but holy crap, it just dies. So anyway, yeah, we almost had to take a shower after looking at all that stuff. God, it's just bad. Anyway, it's like NPC TV. Anyway, for the alien, yeah, the gray energies. The Zetas, yeah, it's not always what it's cracked out to be. Obviously, for most part, it's not a good experience. I mean, they're gonna abduct you, put you on a bed and start poking. Of course, a lot of missing persons and all that. But when people come back here, yeah, you're traumatized if you remember. But then when you start manipulating people and writing books and stuff like that, if it has good intentions, that's good. But if it has like a dark side to it, that's not good. Obviously might lie to yourself that you're doing a good thing. But some are actually getting indoctrinated to manipulate our reality. Like they're getting tuned up. They get abducted. Like it's not just grays or other beings too. They get abducted, get tuned up, come back here, start manipulating society. And talk about aliens or whatever it is. Lovely. It's just something to think about. Those that brag about their abductions, their experiences, like, I'm getting a kind of odd feeling. It's like maybe there's more to this than what you're saying, or maybe the person that went through it's not fully understanding it. Of course, if you're here to manipulate people, you're not always, they're not always aware that they're doing it or whatever. Everyone will look at it. So anyway, all right, we'll go into I guess we're going to some of the grays to talk about that. And as much as I can, I don't care if I make them mad because the grays are not. Who cares what they think? Quantum leap energy would be a timeline or time travel frequency, wherever it needs to come through that, and the exopolitics. Jeez. Whatever. I mean, if your life is so boring and just dead, and it's like you need some exopolitics of the week, sure. Whatever. It's just entertainment. It's just spiritual entertainment. That's all it's gonna be there. So anyway. All right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings, we have the Zetas. There are several Zetas here that have it out for humanity. Well, to them, this is their video game. And they have their players. And it's free to figure it out. So they're allowed to do this until humanity figures things out. You wonder why. Well, humanity accepts it. One person accepts to do it. So you are players in a theater, or however you want to look at it. And it's just a challenge. but it is showing that you are moving along into a new, direction, into eventually more of an awakening. They're not going to make it easy, but they're going to play your society until you figure things out. And most aren't figuring it out. They don't even know there's something to figure out. They're just trying to understand all of this, and there's a lot to understand. But yes, there are players here. Yes, say they're helping, but they're actually doing the opposite. But you've already know about that. But you know how far it goes. And why do they still have power here? It's not just because of the audience. It's because they have a strong backing. Just like you have like a millionaire funding a lot. So you have a powerful presence funding the manipulation. And it's up to humanity to start snapping out of the delusion and seeing what's happening here. So it's like anything else, pretty much. But it does, as more become aware of it, eventually these beings will get scared. Well, they get more aggressive too, but they don't. Right now, they're enjoying the life because people aren't aware of it. Just like what you see with the news media being manipulated, and eventually you'll see if there's like someone talks about their alien abductions and all that, and they're actually manipulating society. If you even think they are, most don't think that. Oh, they just had an experience, but not realizing there's something behind those experiences. Sometimes, yes, it's just to probe you, even to shut you up. So I was just scared the daylights out of you also. And for others, it's indoctrination. For some, it's here to they already agreed to the program. And it's even they can get good, doesn't mean it does their soul any good. But it does pay, it pays well for those that are screwing your reality, as some of you have noticed. So yeah, some that are manipulating your reality have a huge falling energy to a certain level and seem to stay in power no matter what. But that can only last so long. Eventually it'll dry out. But for a while it's going to do, because the vibe isn't the same. And you can still get positive information within these manipulations too. It's like you might be a lot of hot air, but there'll be like little tidbits of information that you need for your growth. So that's just. Greens. This is the quantum leap energy timeline. Time traveler beings. But our time travelers are humanitarians to assist your world in the positives. Of course, there are others that are here to hijack your realm. Yes, when you have a positive, you have a negative. So you have a good guy, and there's someone the equal that is the bad guy. But as for the humanitarian energy, they're kind of like angelic time travelers, you can say. I just want to do good for society and keep doing good, and using time travel as a way of doing it. Some of them are Andromedan beings, some are humans from your future Earth. There's definitely many coming from your future Earth that are more of advanced society. They're doing what you can't. Yeah, there's some things they just can't mess with, like with your corrupt governments. They can go into a certain level and bring some light. Well, they can bring out a more of a positivity. It's like maybe we're doing things wrong. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Those type of things. Val Thor, they've heard from Venus. That's technically a time traveler, if you want to look at it that way. So, but some of you have been time travelers in the past, once again, or past life or future life, however you look at it, as a humanitarian frequency. But reason we bring up the negative side is because yes, you're doing good, but your alter ego, yes, the negative version, not necessarily of yourself, but someone that's similar to you, because you can do good. Someone out there is going to try to screw things up, also. Not to say it's at a constant, back and forth like that, good and evil, but it does occur. So just for you to become more aware of this. But as humanitarian time traveler beings, and your world obviously is not fully understanding it. Sometimes it's best it doesn't understand it. Of course, it doesn't acknowledge your spirit realms all that much. Usually it's afraid of it. But there will be a come a time when society is no longer afraid and more embraces it. But right now, it's kind of like riding a bike or riding a tricycle. But it's right now, society is pretty much afraid of what's out there. It might just say it's not interested or whatever it might be, but there is some fear that not everyone's afraid of. I'm just don't. It's not part of their reality, but there is a lot of fear out there of what it can do. And some just have intuition. They kind of understand it even if they're not that interested in it. But time traveler beings are always going to be here. You can technically call on one if you want, and it might show up in your reality in some form. Greetings, we have exopolitics frequency. Yes, you can say it's somewhere taking advantage of that energy. There, well, yeah, it doesn't have the best vibes. There are agendas, so it's like you're getting your galactic television. So you are seeing like alien politics, and aliens do have that also. So you can say some want to do this exopolitics to become like an extraterrestrial newscaster, you can say, even if they're human energy. And sometimes it can have positivity to it. But realize anything with the news normally has a manipulation, an agenda built into it. Like you have your truth news, and then you have your exopolitics news that's keeping out what's really happening. So just be aware of that. So it's just like, yeah, so you're seeing a new era, and you'll probably see more of this open up over time as that can tap into exopolitics energy. Yes, things you cannot prove. They might go into certain create, advancements in some kind of technology, but yeah, that's the new normal for you eventually. There will be some that'll just turn their minds off and just let it. Well, it does connect to other realms, and for them, it's an escape. Is there a manipulation there? Well, there's agendas there. Let's put it that way. And it doesn't mean it's really telling you what's going on, meaning that it can be more open and allow more of a true energy to come in, but many are not going to do that. They're going to filter it, just like any type of news. Well, meaning that they can bring in, a little bit more of a raw knowledge into your reality, more alien knowledge. It's not so exopolitics, but more about your society in general, where it can improve and things like that. Kind of like a healing energy, basically, you can say. But many don't have that. It's not exciting enough for them. So they need entertainment. Those that are doing this exopolitics frequency, and once again, controlling the narrative. Is there some brainwashing going on with certain individuals that do this? Some level, but they agree upon it. Well, they need to be known for something. So as for the exopolitics happening on your planet, it's those that are awakening are still obviously ones who awaken faster than they are now. Want to speed things up, want to go to that planet in the sky, wherever it is, and just feel more of a lighter frequency. Because being in this world, obviously, you feel like you're in the hot tub, and it's a hot tub without the enjoyment for many. So it's a tub of agendas. Your government obviously has a lot of weaknesses within itself. It's been infiltrated by so many alien groups, it's hard to keep track of them all anymore. And they're so naive about it. They have no idea what they got themselves into. And if you really need to know the truth on that, it will happen in time. It's like, yeah, be careful what you wish for. Yes, those humans that with their faces shapeshift to reptilian. Do you really need that in your experience? You know it exists, and that might be good enough. Because when you actually see it, it's not as joyous as it might sound like. It's not as fun. Because those reptilians that shapeshift very easily, yeah, they don't have the best intentions. And they can go into your mind, it can cause you injury if you know too much. So they're just kind of bullies, basically. Are there nice reptilians that do? Yes, but most likely you've been encountered by the unfriendly ones, because the friendly ones are most likely not going to shapeshift. They'll just be nice to you, which is good. It's like, wow, you have a lot of reptilian energy, but you're not changing into reptilian. That's pretty good. But they might even be open to it. You talking about it. But then there's others that are evil. And so be careful. Like I say, be careful. Most of you won't get involved with something like that, but some of you will. That's not what it's cracked up to be. Yeah, we'll just leave you with that one. Something to think about, ponder on. You can head to the positive reptilian energies. Like I said, they're extremely kind. Just like kind of like an angelic, but they're in human form. They're human, but they're very compassionate, and they've just learned. Yeah, humans are lost, but they don't talk down to humans or see as humans as victims. They don't do that. Other reptilians are just doing it because they just love being powerful. They just enjoy it, just like they're kings here. So